Hey everyone, and welcome back to Rank and File Sports with Jonah and Connor. Today we're going to be continuing our schedule previews with the Michigan Wolverines. We will be previewing every single Power 4 team as well as a few Group of 5 teams, so please make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on your favorite team's video as well as our official game-by-game predictions over the summer. Taking a look at this schedule for Michigan, overall, it's not too difficult. You got to go to Oklahoma early in the season. But other than that, the only big matchup in the Big Ten is going to be that one against Ohio State. Now, a couple other ones to watch out for, maybe at USC, at Michigan State, home against Washington. Other than that, in my opinion, it's really just Oklahoma and Ohio State that are going to be the two toughest games.
Yeah, starting the season off with a home game against New Mexico, even though they're going to be bringing in a new quarterback, Bryce Underwood, with all the talent that he's supposed to have, being one of the most highly recruited players in college football history, he should be able to figure it out. 100% chance for the Wolverines in this one. At Oklahoma the following week. This is a very interesting game even though Bryce Underwood is supposed to be a very, very good quarterback, even as a freshman, this is a hard environment to go into in your second ever college football game. SEC fans are a different breed. So, this could go either way. Obviously, Oklahoma is losing Jackson Arnold to the transfer portal, going to Auburn, but this could go either way between these two teams. We're going to give the slight edge to the Sooners because they are the home team and because Michigan is bringing in a new quarterback. Following week against Central Michigan, same story as New Mexico. They will be the better team. Michigan teams are built on their defense, and that's going to be what makes sure this game is, without a doubt, a win for the Wolverines. And then the following week at Nebraska, I think this is going to be an interesting game to watch out for. Dylan Raiola has shown that he can be a very difficult quarterback to defend against, both through the air and on his legs. This could be a game that Michigan could drop, but I think their defense is well built to handle any situation that's thrown at them at the quarterback position. And I think with 3 games under his belt, especially that game against Oklahoma, I think Bryce Underwood should be able to figure out what he is capable of doing in this Michigan offense. So we give this about 70% chance for Michigan to get a win going into their first bye week.
Michigan has 5 straight games between those two bye weeks. First up is going to be Wisconsin at home. The Badgers have been struggling the last couple of seasons. Luke Fickell is going to need to figure that out soon, or we might see an ad for a Wisconsin head coaching job in the paper pretty soon. After that, going on the road to USC, the Wolverines made a comeback at home in that game last year. USC is going to need to play very similarly this season. Uh, this one, because they have the home field advantage, maybe gives USC a little bit more of a shot. But if Michigan does as well as they're projected to this season, they should be favored. After that, we have Washington at home. And this one, we're given a 60% chance to Michigan to win. Might seem a little bit low, but we think that Washington's actually going to be a pretty solid team this year, maybe surprise some people. And even though this is a road game for Washington, we're not going to favor them, but I think they have a legitimate shot to pull off an upset. After that, you got a road trip to Michigan State, another one where maybe the percentage seems a little bit low. Keep in mind, this is a rivalry game. They are on the road. Michigan State has not won this game in a while. I think they're really, really, really going to be trying to win this one this season and might just give them a little bit more of an edge than people would think. Still going to favor Michigan, but don't count out Sparty this season. And then finally, just a quick mini bye week before the actual bye week. You get Purdue at home. Uh, Purdue's not going to be good this season. Maybe I'll come back to regret that if Purdue somehow shocks everybody. But Yeah, Purdue's not a good team.
Coming out of that second bye week, two road trips. First one being to Northwestern. Northwestern's been kind of in a tough spot the last couple of seasons. When divisions were abolished in the Big Ten, they kind of took it harder than most other people, considering they were one of the two teams that would win their division. It would be between them and Iowa. Now that the divisions are gone, they're kind of being outclassed by every other Big Ten team. This is going to be no different. Michigan's offense is going to be able to put up however many points they feel like putting up against the Wildcats. Their defense is going to take care of whatever Northwestern will throw at them. So, giving Michigan an 80% chance to win this one. Maryland's kind of in a similar situation. They've had a tough transition with Talia Tagovailoa leaving their team. I think they're still probably a year or two out before they can reach a somewhat competitive level. This is going to be a similar game to the Northwestern game. Michigan will be able to take care of business and most likely get a win, giving them about an 80% chance here before going back home to face the Ohio State Buckeyes. This is it's a good game every year. It's an interesting game every year. Michigan's had Ohio State's number the last four seasons, winning four in a row. Granted, the last two have been very close games, one score games. It should be interesting. Both are going to have new quarterbacks going into this season. And Michigan's game plan against Ohio State, as it's been for the last four seasons, is to run the ball against Ohio State. And I do think that will continue to be a successful strategy considering who Ohio State is losing. But maybe Ohio State, after winning the national championship, finally wakes up and realizes that they need to play their own game to beat Michigan. And maybe they break this four-game losing streak against that team up north and finally get a win and have it be at the big house. You can't predict this game at this point. I don't know how good Bryce Underwood's going to be in his freshman season, if he is going to be the starting quarterback, even though it's very likely he will be. I don't know how good Julian Sayin is going to be for the Buckeyes this season. This is a coin flip at this point. 50% chance for either teams to get a win, but it should be a very entertaining game like it is every season.
Yeah, that's about as 50-50 as you can get, in my opinion. Just looking at the schedule as a whole, I'm really torn on Michigan this season because it all depends on Bryce Underwood. If he ends up being a bust, then they could have a terrible season. But if he lives up to expectations, they could go 10-2, 11-1, maybe even undefeated. Just in my opinion, Oklahoma is going to be a loss early in the season. I think them bringing in John Montier at quarterback is absolutely huge. They have the home field advantage, and it's going to be the first big game for Bryce Underwood in his college career. I really do think Oklahoma gets that one. After that, very good possibility that Michigan doesn't lose another game heading into that Ohio State game, in my opinion. So maybe 10-2 if they lose to the Buckeyes, or could even see 11-1. But with all the 70, 60% in there, maybe they drop another game. So I'm thinking 9-3.
Yeah, this definitely depends on how they start the season. If Underwood comes in and is the phenomenal quarterback everyone is saying that he is, this could be, like you said, a 10-2 season, an 11-1 season, maybe even an undefeated season. But with Oklahoma so early in the year, I don't see them starting the season off undefeated. And even then, if they were to beat Oklahoma, I think that Nebraska game is going to be a sneaky good one. And then going to USC, that traveling that far, you never know what's going to happen, especially with USC being a competitive team last year. Even though they're losing some guys, now that they're going to be at home, maybe it's a closer game. Maybe they're able to get a win there. Michigan State, Aiden Chiles, we saw last season, is a very raw but still very athletic quarterback that is going to be very good in the coming seasons. Maybe he makes that breakout this season and gives Michigan State that much needed win in this rivalry. And then the Ohio State game, like we were saying, you can't lean one way or another. You can lean on Ohio State finally figuring out if they want to get a win, or Michigan has been steamrolling them the last 4 years. They're going for number five. This could go so many different ways, and it all hinges on Bryce Underwood's output. So I'm with you. I'm right around that 10-2, 9-3 area for the Wolverines next season.
Yeah, the main reason that I'm going to go 9-3, I think Washington is a huge trap game for Michigan. Coming off
They
the, I think will be a win at USC and right before a road trip to one of their rivals in Michigan State. I could definitely see them losing that Washington game, which is why,
Washington did beat them last season too.
yeah, I think they're going to do it again this year. So that's why we're going to go ahead and predict Michigan to go 9-3. Last season, they went 8-5, so a little bit of an improvement. Our projected win total is going to be 8.8 and 3.2, just based on all of those percentages from the last screen. Like I said, we're going to go ahead and go with 9-3 as our official prediction for right now. The over under from Vegas sitting at 8.5, minus 188 to go over. So Vegas also looks like they're liking 9-3 as the final record for Michigan. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in our next video.